is about to begin, and you're gonna love it.
What's up, YouTube? It's that time of the year again. Time to claim a national champion in college football. And I'm bringing you the most official bowl sim Laxroxtopher has ever brought to you. And I'm bringing it to you in HD. I decided I was going to sit back and relax and let the computers do the most official bowl sim possible in a video game. I put both teams on Heisman difficulty, 6-minute quarters, and let the two computers, untweaked rosters, duke it out for the national championship. I believe that's as official as you can get doing a bowl sim in a national champion. Because you play player to player, and one guy's better than the other, and when the teams are as close as this, it doesn't matter. It's going to be whoever's better. This is the computer versus the computer, the same logic, the same AI versus the same AI. It's as close to as real as a video game will let you get. And I'm going to get super deep into this video about the state of the bowl system and national championship. It's going to sound hypocritical because I'm going to be bashing the BCS later, but for the most part, the BCS, for how criticized the games were going into this, probably the most criticized I can remember in any recent memory of the games. Everyone's saying, like, you have a number 16 team going in. Why is Boise State not in? Why is TCU not in it? Why is Michigan in over Michigan State? And all this stuff. And then it turns out the Oregon-Stanford game, or Oregon-Stanford, the Oregon-Wisconsin game in the Rose Bowl. Amazing. So much fun to watch. So fast-paced. The Oklahoma State Stanford game, so exciting. These games come down to a lot of them the final possessions in overtime. Virginia Tech, Michigan, a team that was, and Virginia Tech, kind of both like, wow, you got, like, how are these two teams in it? Like, this shouldn't be happening. Boise State should be in it or something. And they play a great game, a very exciting game. The only BCS game that was really a fluke was Clemson getting rolled on by West Virginia, who pretty much you can't argue it, they shut up the critics. No one argued Clemson shouldn't be in a bowl. Well, some people did, but, I mean, for the majority of people, like, all right, Clemson, I'm fine with Clemson being in a BCS bowl. And then you're like, oh, here's the Big East champ, the one that we want to strip the AQ status from their conference, and they come in and run 70 up on Clemson. And, I mean, I know they're leaving for the Big 12, but, I mean, they're still part of the Big East. And I think that's going to go a long way to making sure the Big East keeps their automatic qualifying bid, especially with the additions of SMU, San Diego State, Air Force. It's one of the military academies, and, of course, BJC, Boise State. And so I feel like they'll keep their AQ status for sure after this. Now to the national championship game, though, I do not believe it should have been this way. West Virginia, now that I've watched the game, should have been playing in the Orange Bowl against Alabama, or played in the Fiesta Bowl against Stanford, because Oklahoma State should be in the national championship game. I'm sorry, Alabama. I know it's not what you guys want to hear, but it's so true. I thought it to be a 50-50 chance going to that last week what one-loss team between Oklahoma State and Alabama would go to the championship game. Oklahoma State absolutely ran over Oklahoma in the battle for Bedlam. They put up 50 on them. I'm pretty sure they beat them by like 50 points. And I'm thinking after that, there's no way Oklahoma State doesn't go to the national championship game. They just beat the preseason number 1 ranked team, Mr. Hurricanes national championship pick. I'll put the link to the video up now about us picking our picks. He picked Oklahoma. I picked Oregon and Oklahoma State, so obviously I'm a little biased for wanting one of my picks to be in the championship game, but I truly believe Oklahoma State deserves to be in it. And Stanford, a lot of people are going to say, well, they'll hardly beat Stanford. It's not like Stanford's bad. Stanford had a shot at making the national championship game. I don't want to see the SEC rematch. They played each other already. If Alabama wins, it's literally a lose-lose situation. If Alabama wins, it's, all right, LSU won once, Alabama won once. So who's really the winner of this? If LSU wins, it's, oh, well, Alabama shouldn't have been playing them again in the first place. It's a lose-lose situation, and this game deserves to be critiqued. The computers, for how much I just gave them props, really screwed up in the one game that I just really want to be correct. And maybe they are the two best teams. I don't know, but I feel like if you can't win your conference, you can't play for a national championship. I know your one loss is against the only undefeated team in the country, the team that you're also lining up against on the 10th to play the game. Like, their only loss was to LSU by 3 points. But does that give them a right to get a rematch at them in the biggest game of the year for any school? No. That's all I'm going to say on this topic. The national championship game should be LSU versus Oklahoma State. Even if Alabama wins it, it's not going to change my opinion. So, Tide fans, you can leave your nasty hater remarks, but I'm always going to believe this 2011 national championship game should have been Oklahoma State LSU. Fact. Now, on to the more of the minor bowls. Did people think we should do a playoff, and then that would have settled everything because your Oklahoma State Cowboys would have been in a playoff, and they could have proven that they deserve to be there. I'm not for the playoff at all. If you do it, it's only gonna have to be 4 teams. Like, it has to be 4 teams, and you keep it. You scrap the national championship game as a bowl, and you still play the Sugar, you still play the Rose, you still play the Orange, and you still play the Fiesta. And the top 4 teams, after all that's done, play for 2 more weeks in a freaking playoff. And screw the BBVA Compass Bowl and the other bowls that are after New Year's. Only BCS games should be after New Year's. Make them the 1st, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then you got a week to prepare and then 1 more week. So the season would only be extended pretty much a week and a half more because the national championship game is like a week after the last BCS bowl game. It makes logical sense. But an 8 and 16 team playoff does not. Because you're just going to be like, oh, there's still going to be little bowls. Yeah, but they're going to be overwhelmed by the playoff. People are going to watch the playoffs. Because there's just not enough season for the playoffs and the bowls to coexist if you go more than 4 teams. Fact. And the bowls are important. Because you look at teams like, for instance, like the Idaho Famous Potato Bowl or the Rhodey's Humanitarian Bowl, whatever you want to call it, the bowl played at Boise State for the last 5 years has come down to the final second. That's a great game. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't even catch it, so I don't care. Yeah, but to the teams that go to that, like Ohio this year that won it, that was their first bowl appearance and bowl win in school history is what I heard. That's a huge deal for them. For them, that is the playoffs. That is their Super Bowl. That's the Olympics of college football for them. It doesn't matter if they're not playing in the BCS All-State Sugar Bowl. Like, to them, that was huge. Now, maybe I'm not for a playoff, but, like, maybe, because I'm a Vandal fan. I realize my Vandals will never be in a BCS contention spot. But doesn't mean when they go 6-6, I want to go watch them play somewhere and have that intense feeling of a playoff. Every bowl game is a championship. Each one has a trophy. It's a championship for the 2 teams in it, no matter how good or how bad they were. And that's what college football is about, is the pageantry and the passion. You put playoffs in it, and it's not about that anymore. It's the NFL. I'll watch the NFL for playoffs. If I want to watch, like, people just play for the sport and play for the pageantry, it's a bowl game. You spend hours a day hanging out with your teammates in a bowl game. A bowl game just trumps the playoffs completely. You can't do it in the NFL. It's just structurally not sound. It's too much money is involved in the NFL to do it. Otherwise, the NFL would be better with bowl systems. That's my opinion. But, yeah, I'm going to end this rant. That's my stance on the college football bowl scenario as it is. But check out my last year's national championship that I dug up for you guys of Oregon and Auburn. And also check out my Vanderbilt Week 7 Dynasty video, the first Dynasty video in HD on my channel. And also, if I get 60 likes, I'm making a special video for you guys. But comment and like and do all that stuff. But mostly comment to let me know, am I just crazy for everything I thought? Or what do you agree with? What do you disagree with that I just said? Follow me on Facebook and Twitter so we can chat more. And for my followers that are on it, they'll tell you it's awesome. Subscribe, because that is the most important thing on this channel. But this has been Laxroxtopher. Keep gaming, America.